So let's get into actual game talk here. We will start with the Thursday nighter, which is a hell of a game. We got 3 standalone games, as you guys pointed out before. Baltimore, Cincy. If you're asking yourself what the numbers on the screen are, that would be their matchup ranking and the points per game. So for Lamar Jackson, it says 10. That means Cincy's defense is the 10th best matchup. They are allowing 17.9 points per game. So like I said, in this one, Jackson gets the 10th best matchup. What the fuck am I doing?
What? Jamar Chase?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Look.
Oh,
my
yeah,
kid, my son has changed Burrow to his own name.
Yes, love it.
Well, our kid.
I looked at him like, no, this is what happens when you let your kid sit next to you at the computer and then you go to get a drink and don't check. And I'm like, did I cut and paste the wrong player? So the graphic is accurate with the exception of the name that my 9-year-old has decided while I was gone, he would change Burrow to Chase. Thank you, Chase. Great. So
smart man.
It is the worst matchup for Joe Burrow. I'm going to keep saying quarterback Jamar Chase, but it is not. So we're off to a solid start here, man. Single parent life is awesome. They change your graphics when you're not looking. That's my bad. So bad matchup for Joe Burrow. Good matchup for Lamar Jackson. Before we get into this, I think this is an interesting question. I have a decision to make in a superflex. I have to bench one of these two or Sam Howell. Who do you bench out of those 3? I put it to a poll, and it's like 33% to 33% to 33%. It's ugly all the way around.
I think you probably got to play Howell at home against the New York Giants. Defense is probably the only thing they got going on. But
I said bench Burrow because of the matchup, but like, can I bench Joe Burrow for Sam Howell?
No, I don't think
you can't bench Lamar.
Yeah,
no.
Like, I can't bench. Like I literally.
Okay, so that's my point, though. So I said, well, I got to play Sam Howell against the Giants. Who do I bench? You can't bench Jackson or Burrow.
You can't sell him.
Sell him. I'm doing it.
It's dynasty.
You're benching Burrow.
Yeah, I'm benching Burrow this week. We're going for it. We're doing it.
I have Burrow bench too because the other thing I wanted to avoid, we have about 50% chance on these Thursday night games. Some of them are absolute barn burners. Some of them turn into 14-12 shit shows. And if this one turns into a low-scoring defensive battle and like the Ravens slow it down, I don't know if I want to have both quarterbacks in this game. So I have Burrow on the bench for Howell right now.
That's fair, but let's make the case for Burrow for a second, right? First of all, week 2 is when Burrow played Baltimore. We know that he was dealing with his calf issues. He still went 27 of 41 through 2 TDs. And right now he's rolling. So number 1, I'm not scared about Joe Burrow. Number 2, and I was looking into this with I think it was the Detroit Lions, I forget. But in another chat, someone was telling me that, Minnesota, the Minnesota defense has been a negative matchup. They've been better against quarterbacks. And if you just take a look at this, if you just take a look at the schedule and like figure out who the teams are playing, like they're playing some really crap quarterbacks. So for a second, just indulge me here. This is who the Baltimore Ravens have played. They played C.J. Stroud in his first ever start. Then they played a hobbled Joe Burrow in week 2. In week 3, they played probably half Anthony Richardson because I believe that's when he went down with injury. And then that was a mess. Week 4, they played the ghost of Deshaun Watson or whoever may have been in there. And this is not prepared.
Week 4 it was DTR.
Okay. Or Walker, maybe?
No, it was DTR.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Week 5, maybe Kenny Pickett, or maybe that's when Pittsburgh was having their quarterback situation. Week 6, I don't know when Levis took over, but that was probably weird for Tennessee. Week 7, you had Detroit, so Goff, fine. Week 8, was that when Dobbs was benched, right? So was that Clayton Tune in week 8 for Arizona? Yeah. So week after week, the Ravens, yes, they're the worst matchup, but they've been playing some pretty terrible quarterbacks. So I'm not that concerned about whoever they're rolling out in that secondary, which has always been historically the last 3-4 years, the weakest part of Baltimore's defense. Certainly they have some young guns back there, but otherwise, yeah, I'm fine to roll out Joe Burrow, especially as we were talking about over Sam Howell.
I'm not concerned with Joe Burrow at all. I think these are two of the top 5 or 6 and are both must starts. The problem is the guy I've got a bench is currently QB3 on the year. And it's like,
Yeah.
and he gets the
true.
Giants. So it's
And
like,
he gets the Giants.
can I
Yeah,
just have can I start all 3 of them? Like, I don't, literally, if you look at my rankings, I think they're quarterbacks 2, 3, and 5 or 3, 4, and 6 or something on my rankings this week. And I'm just like, I don't know who to bench. But okay.
Yeah.
Might need trade advice. Wonder if it's worth losing some depth to boost my starting lineup. Okay.
The answer is yes.
Draft. Mark Andrew. What'd you say?
I said the answer is yes. If you're ever going to upgrade your lineup for depth all the time, just do it.
Do it.
I mean, I like this team.
A lot.
Andrews, Mixon, and Cook for Kelsey and Jacobs. So it's a quarter. Or it's
tight end. You got McBride or some McBride. Like one of the two. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to give. I don't know if I want to give up that much depth. Although I'm not high on Cook. I guess Mixon and Jacobs is a wash. I don't know. I think to go.
It's wash across the board.
If you had anyone besides Andrews, I'd make this deal. But from Andrews to Kelsey, I don't know if I want to make this deal and give up my depth.
Agreed.
Yeah, so Josh Jacobs is an upgrade over Mixon and Cook, but it's pretty close between him and Mixon. It's definitely an upgrade over Cook. But the problem is you're packaging those two running backs together, and you have really nothing else. I mean, you have Pollard, and that's a disaster. Herbert, it's
Kelsey's a slight upgrade.
Both those guys.
I think Mixon and Jacobs are even. I think Kelsey's an upgrade, and then you're giving away Cook. I don't. I think if I have Andrews, I'd rather hold Andrews. Any other tight end, and I think I probably make this deal, but you've got Andrews already. There's no reason to force it here.
Agree. Maybe if it was Hawkinson, I'd hold as well, but I agree. I'm not forcing it just for the upgrade on Kelsey there.
Bijan. I don't think Bijan sways it one way or the other. I think he has higher upside, but you got to pray that Arthur Smith, gets back on his meds.
Oh yeah, I have Jacobs.
I would consider it a bit more if it's Bijan, but again, the upgrade from Andrews to Kelsey isn't much. Andrews just been down weeks. He's been boom bust, and he's gonna boom coming up.
Don't start Zay over Thielen. Do not do that.
Isn't Zay out?
Thielens got a rough matchup against Dallas.
I'm still starting.
He's gonna get all the targets in the world this week. Reich taking the play calling back. It's just Dude, Zay's usage is so weird. I don't understand Zay's usage at all. It makes no sense in my brain. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know. I agree.
See, if I can change my tight end in that deal, if I can sell McBride and those two to get Kelsey, and then you can just start 2 elite tight ends. If it's tight end premium, or you could do this package McBride and somebody else for RB depth. I don't mind that. But
go get Eckler or something with one of your running backs. Throw in who's the running back you had? Mixon and your tight end, and then go
Cook and Pollard. Get rid of Pollard.
No, keep Pollard. It's that Dallas has one of the best schedules, man. I mean, it's been really bad, but he's going to Rashad White his way to relevance. It's not going to be great.
Let's hope so.
He'll be
Can you even sell him for anything though? Nobody wants Pollard.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
You're not selling him. Just hold and ride it and hope for 12 to 15 fantasy points going forward.
He's a process player.
I'd give up Kamara and Thielen to get Diggs. I don't think you can get it done.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't think you can unless it's a team who really needs Kamara. I don't think you can get this done, especially with how bad Thielen's looked the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's the issue.
A wide receiver upgrade, another wide receiver. Yeah, it's just I don't know. That's a tough one to do.
You might be able to do Kamara for Diggs straight up though.
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
I was thinking you might have to go Kamara and either Wilson or Olave to get this done. It's Diggs, man. No, I'm not. But that's the problem for these Diggs, Hill, CD Lamb, the top 3 or 4 that are insane right now. You've got to give up way too much to even get them.
Redraft's tough in that aspect because people do not view it the same way they do Dynasty. So it's so much harder to get those elite assets. A lot of times you got to overpay to get them. Where it's whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, back to this one, running back. The Ravens get the 15th best matchup, 18.8 points per game, and the Bengals get the 20th. So it's middle of the pack to low end for both. What do we think here? We got Edwards, Mixon. I don't know what to shake out here. I don't think Mitchell has that big a role. I think it's mainly Edwards, but it's going to be mixed in 3 ways. And then on this side, I think it's pretty easily Mixon. I would rather have Mixon over any of the Ravens running backs by a mile here. What do you guys think?
I think you should absolutely be willing to flex Mitchell this week, though, just based on how they've used him. They talk about using him
Keep
more.
going.
And Edwards is, I don't know. Edwards is fine. Like, I like Edwards. He's going to be the RB1. But, like, if Mitchell's getting 10 touches, that's really all he needs. It's like Devon Achane light, where he's not Devon Achane. I'm not saying he's that guy because Devon Achane's freaking legit and he's in a better offense. But Keaton Mitchell's, he's just explosive as hell. So if you give him 10 touches, which ideally it looks like he's going to transition that way, and if he's healthy because we're dealing with an injury, like, I'm willing to flex Mitchell this week, like, and see what happens.
I totally agree with that. And Hill has been, they're phasing him out of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not three ways. Like he was in for a quarter of the snaps last week and he only got 2 touches. So I don't think you need to worry about Hill. It's Mitchell. So I like Edwards over Mitchell just for the goal line role. But, Mitchell's coming on. I think they're going to use him a lot more.
For sure.
Oh,
so, yeah,
right.
I got to have him mix in Edwards and then Mitchell and just nobody else.
Yeah, pretty close as well between Mixon and Edwards.
Hey, Carrie, I don't even think we have super chat set up. You could just submit your questions. We answer them normally. I don't even know.
Yeah, we're not dynasty trades in 5 yet, so yeah, we don't have the super chat.
Drop your question. We're happy to answer it. No need to drop cash. I don't think we even have super chat set up. We're just normal.
No, I can wear a cape if you need to.
I know. Yeah, you want me? I got an outfit back there. I can be Spider-Man.
Good God.
I might turn into something else. Then you might need to pay us if Jesse's putting on outfits.
Okay. Well, we wait for that
that
question.
becomes something else.
Let's move on to the receivers. We have the 14th best matchup for the Ravens, 25th best matchup for the Bengals. This one I think is so we're gonna have Higgins is out. This one is pretty easily Chase for me, and then I don't mind Flowers as a low end 2. Boyd probably as a 3 or a flex, and then we got Bateman, Beckham, and who am I missing? Trenton Irwin. They're all kind of desperation options for me. I actually think I like Irwin more than Bateman and Beckham. It's close for Bateman, but Beckham had one long touchdown, and that was it.
Yeah, like I'm interested in Boyd a lot more now that Higgins is out. He very much is a focal point. Mm-hmm. And we saw Irwin, he caught a big play down the seam last week where it was like a 30-yard touchdown catch. But like realistically, he was not that involved in the offense. So we talked about it. You could, if you're desperate, you could flex him, but I don't want to play him. And same thing with the other wide receivers for Baltimore. Like Flowers is the one guy I want to play. I don't want to chase that 60-yard catch from Beckham. And Bateman is just not happening for Bateman, unfortunately. So yeah, it's Chase. Yeah. It's Flowers. And like I wouldn't mind honestly going, if you're desperate for, like, if you need floor play, you could go Boyd. If you want upside, go with Flowers over Boyd.
Yeah, I agree with all that. But just to say, the Cincinnati secondary has been legit, and I'm sure they're going to rotate between Hilton or even Cam Taylor-Britt on Flowers, depending where he's lining up. Like, you just don't want any part of that. Where I can, I'm benching Flowers this week for sure.
Okay, so it's not worth to go get Kelsey. No, not for who you're upgrading from. It's just not enough from Andrews. Mixon got volume. Yeah, Jacobs. Mixon and Jacobs, I find, are pretty similar for me.
Yeah, I have Jacobs like a few, definitely good amount above him.
Andrews is the one guy I don't really feel like I need to upgrade to Kelsey. I don't need to give up that much.
It's definitely an upgrade, but like it's not that big of an upgrade. Like Andrews is the next guy in that second tier, but like Kelsey's above. It's just
Pollard and McBride to get a better pair of RBs. That's going to be tough. McBride's a low end tight end. Pollard is low in value right now. I think you'd be very lucky to get Pollard and McBride for Jacobs. I know he already has Jacobs, but I don't think you're going to be able to pull off 2 decent RBs. You might be able to package the 2 for someone in Jacobs' range, but
I think he's saying one. I think he's saying pair those 2 to get an upgrade at 1 running back, which I agree.
Sorry, I missed
that's a good strategy, though.
Use Andrews because he has way more value. McBride does not hold the value unless you talk to someone like me who loves McBride and what he's doing. Like most people don't care that much about him. So like you use Andrews and you go get the elite running back. Like if you have to use Mixon or whoever it is, like pair those 2 together and go get like McCaffrey or Eckler or try to get in that. Like you have 2 big names.
Yeah.
At least it's like doable.
JT maybe.
McBride, it's so hard. Yeah, like you can get JT for sure. I think.
Yeah.
This one I hate trading away the best player, but I think you got to make this deal. I like Ayuk, and Brees and Jacoby are pretty handily over the Vikings duo for me here. I think this gives you an elite running back, probably a wide receiver too, and really all you're giving up is Jefferson. I take this deal. I want the Ayuk side.
I really don't want to give up Jefferson. What worries me about Ayuk is like he's not a high-end wide receiver, And Brees is very up and down depending on the matchups. I think he's good. So, like, this is the issue with trading Jefferson. You have to be comfortable with those 2 players you're getting. And Jacoby Myers is basically like he's the non-factor lately with Aiden O'Connell as a quarterback. So, like, he doesn't really do much for you. So, it's basically like Brees is like a mid-low-end RB1. Ayuk's like a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. But, like, if Jefferson has that production, which he had before, like, he's worth way more than those guys. So, that's kind of the debate you have to make.
That's what it is for me. Is like I totally agree with you, Jesse, that I'm on the Jefferson side, but I think we've seen in the last couple of weeks what how good Kirk Cousins actually was, and how we were all taking that for granted. And Josh Dobbs is good, but Josh Dobbs is getting it done for himself and with his legs. So when Jefferson comes back, I'm not expecting 100% Justin Jefferson production. You can still look at 80% and he could still be wide receiver 1 for sure. But I think that deal's a lot closer than I would have thought a few weeks ago.
All right. I'm going to fly through the end here to end this game because we're 20 minutes in and we're on our first fucking game. And I have to go back to work. So tight ends are pretty easily. You can see the matchups. Third best for Andrews. You're starting him. Irv Smith, bad matchup, bad player. You're not taking him at all. Both kickers have mediocre matchups, but both are pretty good. Starting Tucker, starting McPherson. They're probably both top 6. The defenses are scary. It says it's a bad matchup for the Ravens, middle of the pack matchup for the Bengals. I'd like to avoid both defenses if I could. If I had to start one, I would rather start the Ravens, despite the fact that allegedly it's a worse matchup. Any disagreement there?
No, that all makes sense. Check that out.
Got it.
Yeah.